New South Wales strata, laws, smoke, odours, stinky tenants, stinky landlords. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about all of it today. Oh.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Oh, juicy, stinky topic. How are you, Cleo?
I'm good, thank you. Very good. Can't complain.
Expert property manager Cleo Whittier. How long have you been a property manager now?
Too long. I don't
You
know, over 15 years now.
absolute expert, seen and heard it all, and you're going to share some of your knowledge today when it comes to strata, smoke, drift, waft, whatever we call it. But I just have to say before we start, we've got to be careful. As a city and as a country, to be too regulated, I think it's really, really dangerous. Melbourne's just introduced some more laws. I read one today that if a tenant loses their key, a landlord has to pay for it. It's a
What?
new law.
That's outrageous.
And all these laws that are like that come into place. But we've got to be really careful because every time we introduce a law to restrict people, we should be introducing a law to free people because there's just so many laws now. The great Kerry Packer said that in one of his speeches in court. It's on YouTube. It's my favourite thing on YouTube to watch. But let's talk about smoking now. Tell us what you know.
It's a touchy topic. I mean, we all know that, you can't smoke inside a venue. You see all the smokers stand outside, when they've, finished their meal at a restaurant or whatever, and they're out on the street. The same thing goes with tenants now. They are expected to smoke outside and away from common property. A lot of these bylaws that Strata introduced, most buildings now have a no smoking policy introduced into those bylaws. And for those that don't know, a bylaw is like the common rules for the building outside of the internal space that the owner owns. So common property, garaging, all these things that living in a unit community, there's a Bible, a set of rules there as well. So I guess the contentious point is balconies. A balcony is outside. Smokers in the past, you do the right thing, you stand out on your balcony and you smoke. It's not affecting the owner's unit inside as far as damages. But now the smoke drift that goes through the neighbouring properties becomes a problem and complaints arise. So as a property manager, you are supposed to give a copy of the bylaws to your tenants at the start of the tenancy. So as long as they know the rules, once they've broken those rules, you can say, well, you were given the bylaws, this is a warning, you need to stop smoking because it's affecting the neighbours. And we do get that a lot more commonly now. I had a tenant the other day where the lady that lives next door, she's stopped opening her windows completely and now her bathroom's full of mold because she doesn't want the smoke. And it's very extreme that she's done that. At the same time, she's also in breach because she's not ventilating the property, but we can understand why she's not. It's smoking. It's a problem for people that aren't smokers, especially in unit blocks.
Why is it a problem now? Like, this was a 20, 30-year-old, 40, 50-year-old problem. Why is it a problem now? Why is it arising so much now?
I think because the committee have more control and those bylaws are more intense. It used to just be no pet ban bylaw in your property. We can't even have that now. So as an owner, you can't say, I don't want dogs in my unit. I don't want to hear dogs barking. I don't want this. You can't say that. So like you said, being so regulated, smoking has also been introduced with that. They're very, very passionate about it. Health reasons, I understand. But even so, I can't see a smoker in a unit block every time they want a cigarette having to go outside of their unit, go down onto the common property street, have a cigarette, and then come back out in the rain in winter. Like it's one of those things.
And the issue that I have is look, I'm all up to kicking a smoker up the arse and don't smoke for that reason, but at the same time, every time, like I said, you introduce something like this, like the next thing you know is smoking barbecues. And it's
Wow.
like, well,
Yeah.
it's obviously a problem to smoke, but barbecues put out even more smoke than smokers, so you should not be allowed to have a barbecue in your balcony. It's like, man, I can't have a Barbie in my own house, my own balcony. Like I think it's really getting difficult sometimes to live. And you had an example that we'll talk about off air this morning where some tenants have been in a property for a long time and it was that thick on the walls and ceilings. What happened there? The
Well,
owner
they
knew
were
about
smoking
it.
inside. They were old school, like I think that when they first rented, they were already in their mid to late 40s, so heavy, heavy smokers, and they'd smoked inside the whole time. The balcony door would have been left open, but they still smoked inside. It was on the walls, it was on the blinds, it was even in the bathroom. I was like shocked that there was nicotine on the tiles in the bathroom, and I'm like, they having go to the toilet and they're smoking cigarettes while they're in there. You could just imagine it, permanently there.
Just living their best
It was
life. They're
Oh,
just living their best
totally.
life.
But it was gross. Like I couldn't smell it in there. And I guess that's another thing, like with people that vape now, that's not affecting anything. No airspace, not that I'm condoning it, but there is a difference with tenants and property with vaping versus smoking and but yeah, this place was disgusting. It was horrible. The owner's doing complete reno, having to strip down all the walls. You have to clean it first. You can't just paint over it. And
It
that
seeps
also,
through,
brought my
comes
attention
through the
to,
paint.
yeah, it's not good. So you can only imagine what the lungs look like. But having said that, doing that reno with the painting and the smells and the odors, it also brings up, certain cooking, curry, like the curry smell when you have a tenant that cooks a lot of curry in their unit.
Welcome to DY.
Have to cook a certain food, you're not allowed to use a certain spice, so that, the cooking police are going to come in and add that to the.
Well, that's DY, isn't it? When you come to DY and when you walk
Sorry,
through
someone
unit
keeps
block,
ringing.
sorry, when you walk through DY and you go through a unit block in DY, you always will smell every single flavour of the world in the lobbies, and it really
Yep.
frustrates some people. I love it. I'm
Hmm.
probably the worst person to talk about this in terms of smoking because I'm actually keen for the smokers, keen for the barbecuers, keen for the curry cookers. I think it's great. But where are we going with this, Cleo? Um, what presently, what's acceptable and what's not acceptable when it comes to having a fag at home?
You can't smoke inside, you can't smoke on the balcony. If I was a tenant out there and a smoker, I'd be looking at where the unit is situated and I'd always go top floor. If you're a smoker and you want to go
Ah,
outside and you're at the top, the smoke's just going to go out into you know, into the sky, into the air. It'll just
good tip.
dissipate that way. If you're down and it's going up into the units around you, not a good spot. So you got to look at your position as a smoker, where you are,
Good
how
tip.
close the unit building is across.
Okay, how close the balconies are around you, be on the top floor. You know what? That's a cracker of a tip. If you're a smoker or a barbecuer, hit the top floor, kids.
yeah, get some exercise up those stairs and enjoy life.
And it'll keep you fit
That's
as
it.
well. And listen, just before we go, owners' attitudes with tenants smoking, tolerance, no tolerance. Like these owners you're talking about for 15 years, they must have known.
I find the landlords are very tolerant to smokers. Their rent's paid on time, usually, there's no issues. The only issue is that they smoke, you know, having so many other tenant issues that we come across. The smoking does not deter an owner. That sometimes they'll say, are they a smoker at the application process? Because they maybe have had tenants that smoked inside. But as far as complaints with smoking, I haven't really experienced many landlords that are really opposed. They just say, oh, well, you know, let them know that they're not allowed or they're annoying the neighbors. You know, they don't have a stance of, you know, well, terminate those tenants. I haven't had that yet.
There you go. All right. Well, hopefully we helped the smoky people out there, the non-smoky people out there today, educate everyone a little bit. Have a great day.
See ya. Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Larry. See ya.